Hello, bloom-n-cheeza here. This is for Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day Part 2. Hope you guys do like. Comment right down below. Push that little subscribe button. It all helps. Here I continue with the reading of Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day. You might remember Eeyore. Wait a minute. There we go. You might remember Eeyore from the last reading. Here we go. Not far from Eeyore's house was a rabbit's garden. Oh, what a refreshing day for harvesting, Rabbit said aloud as he pulled up a large orange carrot. Looking up, he suddenly saw Pooh coming towards him at top speed. Oh no, shouted Rabbit, waving his arms frantically. Happy Wednesday, Pooh cried, kicking up a whole row of carrots. Oh yes, Rabbit chuckled as the juicy ripe carrots fell smack into his wheelbarrow. Next time, I hope he plows right through my rutabaga patch. Stronger and stronger the west wind blew, and before long Piglet found himself blown right up against Owl's window. Owl was awakened with from a peaceful snooze by the loud crash. Whoo-hoo, he said, opening up his big round eyes. Who is it? It's me, Piglet said. Please, may I come in? Well, I say now, Owl said, his eyes rounder than ever. Someone has plastered Piglet on my window. Just then Pooh's face appeared beside Piglet's, and Owl invited them both in. Soon Pooh and Piglet were comfortably seated in Owl's cozy living room. Am I correct in assuming that it's a rather blustery day? Asked Owl. Oh, yes, that reminds me. Happy Wednesday, Owl, said Pooh, hungrily eyeing a big honey pot in front of him on the table. Wednesday? Owl hooted at the wind as the wind whistled through his house. My good fellow, I wouldn't go so far to call it Wednesday, just a mild zephyr. Excuse me, Owl, but is there any honey in that pot? Pooh shouted over the howling wind. Oh, yes, of course, Owl said. Help yourself. Well, Pooh eagerly reached out for the pot of honey, which the wind had just blown clear across the table. Owl continued with his story. Oh, look at everything falling down. Ooh. As I was saying, this is just a mild zephyr compared to the big wind of the 67. Or was that 66? 76? Owl muttered, scratching his head. Oh well, no matter. I remember the big blow well. It was the year my Aunt Carola went to visit her cousin. Now her cousin was not only gifted in the glockenspiel, but and with the wild wind roaring through the house, Al proceeded to tell his friends all about his Aunt Clara's cousin. He didn't seem to notice that when the teacups clattered to the floor, and he barely paused when the wind swept Piglet tight right out the door and back in again. It wasn't until the whole house came crashing down upon his ears that Al finally finished his tale. As soon as Christopher Robin heard the news, he hurried to the scene of Al's disaster. "What a pity," said Christopher Robin when he saw the state of Al's house was in. "I didn't think we were ever going to fix it." "If you ask me," said Eeyore, "when the house looked like that, it's time to find another one." Then he shook his head and said, "Might as well take a day or two, but don't worry, Al. I'll find you a new one." Ooh, that light. "Good," said Al, settling back into his rocking chair. "That will just give me time to tell you about my Uncle Clyde." And that's what he did. On and on Al talked until the blustery day turned into a blustery night. For Pooh, it turned out to be an anxious sort of night, filled with anxious sorts of noises. One was a particular noise he's never heard before. It wasn't a rumble. It wasn't a grumble. And it wasn't exactly a growl. But whatever it was coming just from outside Pooh's door. "Is that you, Piglet?" Pooh called, but no one answered. "Eeyore?" Pooh tried again, and finally, "Christopher Robin?" When there was still no answer, Pooh got out of bed and went to investigate. Being a bear of very little brain, he decided to invite the new sound in. "Hello?" he said, flinging the front door open. Suddenly, a big bouncy creature bounded in and knocked Pooh right off his back. "Hello," the creature said from atop Pooh's chest. "I'm Tigger." "Oh," Pooh replied, looking into Tigger's smiling face. "You scared me." "Sure I did," Tigger said good-naturedly. "Everyone's scared of Tiggers. Who are you?" "I'm Pooh," said Pooh. "And what's a Pooh?" Tigger asked. "You're sitting on one," Pooh informed him. And with no further ado, Tigger climbed off Pooh, stuck out his paw, and said, "Great to meet ya. Tigger's my name, Tigger, and that spells Tigger." "But what's a Tigger?" Pooh asked, plainly puzzled. Without a pause, Tigger proudly replied, "The wonderful thing about Tiggers is Tiggers are wonderful things. The tops of things are out of rubber, and then bottoms are made of springs. They're bouncy, 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 fancy, fancy, fun, fun, fun. But then the most wonderful thing about Tiggers is that I'm the only one." And to prove his point, Tigger bounced around the room on his springy tail, repeating, "I'm the only one. And if you're the only one..." "What's that over there?" Pooh asked, pointing at Tigger's reflection in the mirror. "What a strange-looking creature," said Tigger. "Look at the beady little eyes and the pointless chin and that ridiculous striped pajamas." Pooh nodded, and then he said, "Looks like another Tigger to me." Tigger decided to change the subject. "Oh, well, did I say I was hungry?" "I don't think so," said Pooh. "Well, then, I'll say it," said Tigger. "I'm hungry." "Not for honey, I hope," Pooh said, casting a worried glance at his honey pot. "Oh boy, honey!" Tigger cried. "That's what Tiggers like the best." "And I was afraid of that," Pooh said, as Tigger plopped down at the table, grabbed the honey, and dug his paw in. "Yum!" Tigger said, putting a glob of honey into his mouth. "Yuck," he said when he swallowed his first mouthful. "Tiggers don't like honey," he gagged. "That sticky stuff is only fit for Huffalumps and Woozles." "You mean elephants and weasels?" Pooh corrected him. "That's what I said, Huffalumps and Woozles," Tigger said. "Well, what do Heffalump, what do they do?" Pooh inquired. "Oh, nothing much," Tigger said nonchalantly. "Just steal honey." And with that, he was bouncing out of the door and into the night. How'd you like that? Hope you guys do like, comment, subscribe. There's going to be a part 3 next week. Hope you guys do try to watch it. Bloom-n-cheeza, out of here.